the home version of my life. Usually I go live when I'm out camping, but I went camping day before yesterday. I went camping overnight. I had an issue with my phone. It died, or it didn't die. It got down from like 97% to like maybe 20%. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? And it's like, I don't know what happened. I think I was busy doing something. And it seems like when I have the camera on and I don't uh, reduce it or close that app out altogether, it will just drain my phone. Even with it just the screen blacked out, it'll just keep draining my phone. So I went. I didn't really make too much of a video. I was kind of bummed out, but it was like one night where I got to sit and do nothing, not have to worry about the camera, not have to worry about running around in the middle of the woods. I woke up the next morning and I had a shit ton of wood. I was slept till like 1:30 in the afternoon. I usually am up at like 5 or 6 in the morning. Or actually, that's when I'm going to bed, and then I wake up about 9 or 10, and then I make breakfast and work on getting out of the spot. But nope, I was able to fall asleep and sleep pretty sound for a little while. It was a nice night, man. There was like it was probably the low 60s. If it was a even got that cold, it seemed like I sat by the fire with just my t-shirt on. I didn't even have to put a hoodie on. Usually I put two hoodies on. Not this time. What's up, KK? You want to say hi to everybody? Say hi, Mr. Kitty Kitty. So that's my little buddy. Yeah, I nursed him back to health, and now he's a spunky little kitty again. He's an old kitty, but he's still there. He's still kicking, still raising hell. I'm always bugging my dad. Yep, I'm always bugging my dad. She's my kitty kitty. She's my kitty kitty kitty. Yeah. What do you want? What do you want, you goofball? What you want, you goofball? Blowing on you. I blowed on you. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? That's my buddy, everybody. This is my homeboy. His name's Shadow. He's 17 years old. He just basically dodged a bullet and was able to bounce back. Now he's able to hop back up and down on chairs, but he can't eat hard food anymore. I had to switch him up to soft food. So that's my little love bug. And I got my other buddy. His name is Buddy. He's a big ass cat. I hate leaving these two overnight, especially with this one here, because I got to give him soft food around the clock. But I'll leave enough of it out, it'll just dry out, or the other cat will eat it because he's a fucking hog. That's my life outside of camping. I come home and play video games and spend time with my kitty kitties. They're both very curious. They're super awesome cats. I mean, I don't know if you got cats yourself or anybody out there has animals, but cats are really cool. They all have individual personalities. I've never had one that acted the same as the other. Say y'all, go kitties. He's very curious about the phone because he knows that people are talking and he always wants to be a part of it. So he hears me talking and thinks I'm talking to him or talking to the phone. Say hi to everybody, Mr. Shadows. These are my buddies. That's my buddies. After he got sick, I was spending a lot of time with him. Like I was sleeping by him and everything. I just want to make sure he had everything he needed, and now he sleeps on my headrest. And he's never did that. That's like an inch from my face, and I'm allergic to cats, so I can't sleep like that. What's up, love Maurice? Thank you. Yeah, he's old. He's 17 years old. I'm lucky he's lived this long, so I take every day as a blessing that he's still here. He got sick though. I noticed he wasn't eating his hard treats that I give him. And for a couple of days, that was all right. But then I started worrying that is he eating his hard food, and I figured out he hadn't been eating. So he lost a lot of weight, and then I switched him to the soft food. Now he's eating that all day. So I think he might have dental issues or something else, like maybe with his gut or something. He can't process the hard food because he was throwing up a lot too, like at least once a week. I just always thought he was like a throw-upy kitty because some cats just get sick a lot or cough up hairballs. But ever since I put him on the soft food, he hasn't got sick and thrown up. So I'm like, yeah, I need to get him to the vet. But with him being 17 years old, it's like, man, it's a lot of money just to get him checked out, especially now that he's doing good. But yeah, I'm usually camping when I'm making my videos. That's why I have the channel Camping with Keith. It's a weird name for it's got Juggalo for Life 24/7. I'm a juggalo, but I just kind of do my own thing. I go out camping in the woods by myself, usually once or twice a week. I should go tomorrow, but I think it's gonna rain tonight. I got so much wood that I didn't burn. Bing. Sorry about that. I got notification sound. I should have turned it off before I started going live. I hope everybody's doing good today, having a blessed day. I'm trying to recover from camping. It's a lot of work that goes involved with doing those camping videos. Between carrying make 30, 35 pounds of gear to my camp, wherever I camp, sometimes it's pretty far away where I've been going, as opposed to just sitting here chilling. I'm gonna get a little fire pit set up out back, and that way I can have little lives back there and be able to still sit by a fire. I just worry that the neighbors will look at it as a free for all and they start using my fucking fire ring, and then I want to go out there and I can't use it because somebody else is using my own damn fire ring. I live in an apartment building. Most of the people here are cool. Actually, our whole building's cool. It's just a cool guy downstairs and a couple upstairs. They seem pretty mellow, and then you got me. At least I don't live by the people that terrorize me. The people that made me start a camping channel because I couldn't stand being at home. I mean, I guess I thank them because they pushed me out to get out and camp and stealth camp and do my thing, which I always wanted to do. I just never had a reason to really go do it except just out of curiosity. But once I started doing it, I really enjoy it. Just going out by myself, and I mean, I wouldn't mind somebody else coming out there with me. It's just a very peaceful thing to get away from everybody and everything. Sit out by a campfire, listen to the crickets and all that niceness. I love the crickets and the owls and even the deer that get mad and come up to my sight and snort at me all night long. It's pretty funny. In the beginning, when I first started camping, I was actually worried that it was gonna be a buck that's gonna come running my campsite and gore me to death in the middle of the night. But that's pretty much not gonna happen. Yeah, but usually just chill and play video games at home, or watch movies, or watch YouTube. That's what I usually do is watch YouTube on my phone, and then towards evening time I'll start playing games or watching movies, like my sci-fi movies. What's up? Just chilling at home. On camping two night or the night before last night, but my fucking phone drained from 90 to 20%, and I couldn't record anymore after I realized how low I got down. I think it has something to do with this camera that I'm using on my phone. If I don't close it out or minimize it or something when I'm not using it, it'll just stay going and going and going and just drain. It's just two times it's happened. So I didn't have much of a camping video. I'm just fucking bored sitting at home. Sitting at home with my kitties. Say hi. Say hi, this my kitty kitty. That's the one that was sick. Now he's back pretty much to normal. Being a pain in my ass. Being a big pain in my ass. Should go camping tomorrow. Man, it's nice having a grocery store right next to welcome to your world. Every day is boring at home with me. If I didn't have video games or movies or something to watch, I think I would go insane. But yeah, I went camping. I didn't have but maybe one or two little videos in the very beginning when I got there, and then I realized I couldn't even go live or do nothing, so I just sat by the fire and chilled all night. It was nice to just get not having to make a video and just chill, but there's still I like getting on live and making at least a video that I can remember my adventure. Got them all on file. All my fun trips and my terrorizing trips and almost drowning trips, almost freezing to death, ice storms, winter storms. I've been through it all now camping. I haven't camped in the single digits yet or below zero. I don't know about that. That's a little too hardcore for my ass. If I had no choice and was homeless, then I guess I would have to deal with it. But for me to go out and have fun, I don't think sitting in single digit weather is too fun. You can't even have enough hot hands to get you through something like that. So I've been downtown, fuck, probably 3, 4 times last week, and I most of the time I went down there, made videos of the graffiti and shit. I went live one time until this homeless dude sat down next to me. I remember that dude from when I was down at the homeless shelter. I could not stand that motherfucker. Had a rich mommy and daddy that paid for everything, and had a rich mommy and daddy that paid for everything, and he took advantage of their kindness, and they ended up cutting him off the nipple, and he made him just go out and fend for himself. He was like 18, 19 years old, had no direction, and still don't. The dude sat down next to me. He's like, "You got a cigarette?" I'm like, "No, I don't have any more rolled up." Can I get the last two hits of yours? And I'm like, "Man, I took another hit or two. I just gave him my cigarette." And I was like, "I gotta go, bro." And I walked away. And he's like, sounded all sad and shit. I just don't like him. He can't remember me because he's too fried in the brain. Dude looked like he done been through a war and back. 90% of the people I knew from down there, when I see them, they look like they just beat the hell out of themselves with the drinking and the drug use and shit like that. Yeah, I was talking to my ex's mom today, and I almost said something to her about finding somebody to help me get another car. Because with my stepdad now being diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, I feel kind of funny about having him worry about my car or my fucking SUV. No, he didn't have no dreads. He's real like kind of mop top looking dude. He was super skinny. Fuck man, he had a mustache and shit. When I seen him, he wasn't even look like he could sport a mustache. Like them little hormones didn't kick in this at some point in time in his life where he could grow a mustache. But I recognized him by his voice and shit. Name was Nick. He got kicked out every time I was down there. He got kicked out every time, and then he'd have to be gone for 90 days, and then they'd let him come back, and then it was the same process over and over and over. So yeah, it's weird how seeing some of them people just went a total different direction than I did. I was done with the bullshit. I just looked at myself one day in the mirror and like, "So this has got to change, man. I can't do this no more." I don't know. I was still want to do the fix swap things around because it's too nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it except from the frame and from the front of the tires up. They're like the radiator and shit's trash, but The motor, there's nothing wrong with it. There's only like 52,000 miles on that motor. My stepdad says it still runs. He had to move, or I don't know if he moved it, or I don't think he moved it. I don't think it get moved. I think he just tried to start it. So I know it still runs. I could part it out and get over $1,000. I could scrap it and get a few hundred. It's just I don't know what the fuck to do. I think if I asked my ex's mom, she would help me out with getting the vehicle, but I don't feel right doing it. She's been talking to me a lot lately, man. She puts me in the middle of her and her daughter's bullshit too. Don't say nothing. As a friend, I ask you not to say nothing, then she'll say shit to me, and I'm like, that's fucked up. Sometimes I tell my ex it, but then I tell her, don't say nothing to your mom, or I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking never talk to you again. And I think she gets to the point when she does that, but my ex has a fat fucking mouth, fat ass mouth. Will just say everything and anything to everybody. God damn. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do with it yet. I just know if you have to get it fixed, it's gonna cost a lot for a body shop to put a whole new front end on it. And I don't know where they'd cut the frame to swap the front end out. If they've got to cut it all the way back to like not where I don't know, I guess where the windshield ends and goes straight down. I don't know if they'd cut it off right there, or the front's just too crumpled and shit to just fix it right there and put like a new headlight assembly and all that. I never looked into it. I guess I could look into it and then see how much it would cost, and then get them somebody if they could professionally fucking do it. That'd be awesome. But I don't think I have to get a inspection on it. I never told the BMV or anybody that the vehicle was totaled. But you have to understand, I never worked on vehicles. The only time I did anything is I put a radiator in my Monte Carlo, a alternator on the vehicle, brakes, just basic shit. That's the only thing I ever did with a vehicle. Because I could call around and ask a body shop or something and get quotes and shit and see how much it would cost and look into it. I don't want my vehicle to just sit there like forever because, like my stepdad said, critters will move in, mice will chew up the wiring, and the parts will start rusting and shit. It's like I'm thinking, well, I wouldn't think it'd rust any faster than me parking my vehicle out front of my place because either way, it's exposed to the elements. But that Alzheimer's kicks in. See, they just found out he has it. I don't even know what testing they did to find out that he had Alzheimer's, but I don't know when it's going to kick into the point where he can't remember how to do work on cars, or I guess they forget who people are and shit. So if it was 1,500, I might be able to figure that out. I just figured it would be a lot more. I figured it'd be a few grand or some shit. But like I said, I just don't know enough about body work on vehicles to give a clear indication of how much it would or wouldn't cost. I just know my stepdad said it'd be a lot of work for him, so that's when I just thought that it'd just be a lot. Then I do that, and then I'll have to go to the BMV and make sure I need to Know what I need to do? Get my license. I don't think I got my license suspended. I don't know what happened for me not paying the VMV because I was paying them a certain amount per month, and I just well, that's what I wanted to. That's the whole thing I've been wanting to do, but I ran in the back of somebody and it crumpled the front of the frame and just split it down the middle. Oh, it's not like that. It's the frames crumpled. I hit the back of a vehicle and there's some like support brace that goes across. I split that in half and the whole frame's crumpled from the motor up. You know, everything from the motor back is 100% fine. So it was just like it sucked. Oh God, that's gotta suck. Run into a cop car. I ran into a brand. It looked like a brand new Dodge Charger, but it was actually a Challenger. Super nice vehicle. I shouldn't have got out and admitted it was my fault because there's he was coming to a stop at the light. The light was turning red. I figured he was gonna go through it or stop at the light. Next thing I know is he's 5 car lengths back from where he was, and I hit his ass end because I was gonna go to the left of him and turn left at the light. So I think he was backing up because he was going to go in the lane I was going to go into, and I didn't realize it fast enough. And I don't know, I hit the back of him fast enough and fucked my vehicle all up. That thing was mint condition. Yeah, I wasn't doing no 50 shit. I was doing tops 35 was the speed limit. I had came off the highway. I wasn't doing 55 across Whipple. I don't need no damn tickets. I wasn't like trying to get speeding tickets. No, I didn't. But the motor mounts aren't broken. My stepdad would have said something about that. He just said he's tried to start it and it ran, and he said so the motor runs and everything's still intact like that. Just says every time he tries to straighten out the frame, it just breaks or rips. Said he used a come along, I think, or something like that. I don't know what his process he did to try to straighten out the frame. He just kept saying it kept ripping. So now it's just sitting. It will. All it did is ripping. So now the damn thing's doing nothing but sitting. I think I'm gonna call around this week and look into that. Explain to the people at the or the place that I'm calling exactly what damage was done to it. Just front end damage. That'd be cool though if I get that thing back on the road. Shit, I'm not trying to drive it like it's a hot rod or nothing. Yo, yeah, it'd all be replaced with junkyard parts. I'm not gonna pay top dollar to some body shop to buy brand name parts of everything. A lot of places use junkyard parts and shit when they work on cars, anyways. You got like your own shop, or just from tinkering around, you know what you're doing. I don't know. If it's that easy, that'd be nice. So I'm gonna have to call a body shop or somebody that works on does body work, and see what they think it'd cost or what all I need to get back on the road. If it's 1,500 to 2,000, I can either go to my bank and see about getting a loan, or I can borrow it from. I'd rather borrow it from somebody, and then I don't have to pay interest rates. Then the transmission went out. And transmission on mine was fine. I never really stomped on the gas or tried to run it at high RPMs just because I didn't want to beat on my vehicle. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I knew if I was getting what I was trying to do is get one of the same make and model that the engine was bad in it and the transmission was shot, and I could get it easy for parts, and I could just swap everything from mine to that. That's what my original goal was, but it's hard to find the exact make and model. There's other vehicles that actually share the same parts that actually look almost identical. Yeah, I do worry about shit too much. Hillbilly brother. Oh yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, it's parked down at my stepdad's shop. I haven't even seen it since the day of the accident. Or actually, I seen it when I went to pick it up at the tow yard. I should have told them to tow it to my stepdad's. Instead, they towed it to a tow yard, and I had to pay all these fucking fees just to get it back. My stepdad was like, "Oh, it's 99% chance I can fix it. I can fix anything. Just get it towed to my shop." I'm like, "All right, that's cool." So I got it towed there, and it was like 2 days later. He's like, "Man, I got some bad news." I'm like, oh, "I don't want to fucking hear this because I just wasted almost 500 to get it towed." It's just I don't know. Just to me, it looks like there's so much more life to it. So I'm gonna, I guess, look into this week. I don't know if I have any more pics on my phone of it. I'd have to look back and see if I have. I might have them on the memory card somewhere, but I'd have to see because I took pictures of everything that I could see the front end, what was the brace that was in the front that was snapped, and I there's not a whole lot you can see. That's what my stepdad said. You couldn't tell really from just basically looking at everything that's wrong, but once you start taking parts off, he said everything. He could start seeing more the damage that wasn't his parent. So he apologized, but still $500 and some dollars is wasting it is a bitch. But if I can still get it fixed, then I wasn't wasting it because 1,500 to 2,000 just to get everything done on it, and then I'll be back on the road. It's a lot more. It's a lot cheaper than 3, 4, or 5 grand to get a decent vehicle nowadays. It's hard to get a good vehicle for cheap. My first vehicle I ever bought was $89 because that's what the scrapyard was going to give the person. The '79 Impala. That thing was a beast, man. You could lay down in the back seat, stretch out all the way, 6 foot long person, and not have no issue with being crumpled up. I mean, it was a big ass vehicle, but I did a lot of camping with it and stuff like that. It was just a beater until I got my SS Monte Carlo. That was my dream car. I have SS Monte Carlo. I used to love those things, and I got an '85 SS. I paid 2,500 for it at a dealership. They just got it in on a trade. And they told me that if they sell it to me, it's as is. I can't return it for no reason whatsoever. And I'm like looking at it, and then my stepdad's like, "Well, there's a Dodge Daytona here for the same amount of price." I'm looking at it, I was like, "Man, it looks so lame compared to that Monte Carlo." And like, I'm getting the Monte Carlo, and I had that thing for 7 years. I had 85,000 miles on it when I first got it, and 143,000. I think when I was done with it, I did 2 oil changes, which was dumb. I should have did it all every 3,000 miles. But yeah, that car actually lasted. The ass end started rusting out before anything else. The body just went out on it, so there was no saving it. Yeah, if maybe you go on, I don't know. I think wouldn't some dealerships have all their cars listed online that they got listed for sale there in their shop? Might be able to get some pictures or something like that. Yeah, it's like you need wheels to go look at wheels. There's a lot of dealerships and shit that aren't even on a bus route. Oh, fuck. It's nice out. You put my fan in the window. If it don't rain today or tomorrow, I'm going camping. Looks like it's looks like it's gonna rain. Looks like it's gonna rain. $1,000 a month payment? I don't even make that much in a month. I'm on a fixed income. I would have to get a loan to get anything. Just I don't have anything in the bank that would cover a car. I should have got my license when I first got on my disability where they owed me back pay. I could have got my car, but I didn't have the opportunity at that point in time because my ex's mom was still driving her vehicle. Yes, and it was supposed to rain the next few days. As I had somebody text me earlier and said, "Are you not camping, are you?" I'm like, "No, I just came back yesterday. I can't. I need a couple days to recuperate because I do so much work, collecting firewood for 4 or 5 hours and carrying all your gear to where you need to go, and then making the videos and going live and doing shorts and shit. So it's like I'm constantly busy until like maybe 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and that's when I'm chilling by the fire and just smoky, getting all smoked out and just relaxing. It's nice to sit and close my eyes, but it's weird because it's like I worry about passing out and somebody walking up to my campsite and me not waking up when they're there and then walking off with my backpack or some shit. So I usually try to keep my backpack looped around my chair so I can feel any movement. I slept till 1:30 in the afternoon. I don't even know how the hell I did that because usually I get up at like maybe 9, 10 o'clock in the morning and make breakfast and chill for about an hour or two and pack my stuff and leave. But yeah, my ride was supposed to pick me up on the way back from her friends during the afternoon yesterday, and I realized it was 1:30 and started freaking out, not knowing if she had tried calling me, telling me she's on her way, and I never answered her. So luckily she hadn't came my way yet, and I got my ride home. Sundays is rough because I don't have like the bus. If I felt like on rough times or I couldn't get a ride, and I could like from anybody, couldn't get on the bus. But Sundays it's impossible. Shit, dude, I only sleep an hour or two. I have insomnia. I go to bed at 1:30 or 2, usually about 2, and I'm up by 4. So I get like 2 hours of sleep. It's just that I have recurring nightmares. It just plagues me every time I try to sleep, and it's always the same fucking nightmare. It was all wacky. Man, last night tripped me out. It just every time I have these nightmares, they're not even like normal nightmares where you're scared. It's just terrorizing. Always got trapped in this one fucking building. Can't get out of that building no matter how hard I try in this dream. Or it connects to another dream that's somewhere else that is a recognizable location. I've never been these places in my life, just my dreams. This fucking sucks. I don't mind getting up early. It's nice and peaceful usually around the building. You don't hear anybody up, but yeah, I'd rather sleep for a little bit longer than 2 hours at night. Yeah, that's why I try to stay busy. The more busy I am, the more tired I get. Yeah, my hands are in control of my own destiny and shit. That's where I'm at, where I am now. Because where I was when I was down and out and homeless and didn't have anything to my fucking name, I'm 9 years now living in my apartment, never paid a bill late. I'm scared to death of not losing a or about losing a roof over my head because I know what the worst case scenario is, and living on the streets or at a fucking homeless shelter is so depressing. That was the worst days of my life when I was homeless on a Sunday. Nowhere to go, and everybody else are chilling at home, relaxing, and it's just nothing to do. All the places are closed. It's just real depressing. So, yeah, some of my worst days were down when I was down and out, but now I appreciate how far I've came, and like you said, my hands are in control of my destiny. I still got a lot of like goals and shit, but I got to get a car to get to some of these locations. I want to check out the Grand Canyon, go Niagara Falls. I mean, there's a lot of places that are on the map, United States. I'd like to go to anywhere but Los Angeles, California. I'll stay away from that place. Too damn expensive. Crazy as fuck out there. Yeah, it sucks, man. It's even on holidays. I can't stand going to spend time around certain family members, especially my sister. Right now, my sister's on the shit list with everybody as usual. My mom tells me, "Oh, your sister's doing so much better," and I'm like sitting there going, "Uh huh." I'm like, better like what? Like she did 1,000 times before, and then basically kick you in the. Oh no, she's doing better, and I'm like, whatever. I said, Mom, I can't. I done washed myself clean of my sister. We are 3, 4 months later. My mom's crying to blues. I can't believe what your sister said. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't even want to hear that shit. It's all nothing to do with her. My sister is evil. It's the only way I can describe her. Evil thoughts, wishes the worst on everybody, is so miserable that she just does nothing but try to drag everybody down to her level. It's just a miserable, evil person. I'm like the exact opposite of my sister. Yeah, I say there's certain places I just don't want to go. Ohio sucks, but it's not that bad. It's just there's not a lot to do. There's places to go in Ohio, but if you're not close to them, kind of like out of your reach. Here in Canton, Ohio, there's not a lot to do. If you like bars and that kind of shit, or I don't fucking know. I don't even know what there really is to do in Canton. I've lived here most of my life, and I can't even tell you like the happening spot to go here. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh shit, I hear it sprinkling. Yeah, it's starting to sprinkle. Oh man, what the fuck to do? Yeah, Ohio is just like I said. I've been here not. I probably since I was 8 years old. I'm thinking maybe 8 or 9. Been living here since. Lived in Louisville as a kid on 88 acres. That was fun. Big ass farm. The only people on the farm was me and my mom and my sister, so I didn't have no fucking friends, but just learned to ride around my bike and just do, I don't know, goofy shits that kids do. And moved from there to a fucking, like, housing, like, I don't know, it was a low assistance housing or something in Alliance. I was the only white kid at my school. You want to talk about a terrible time in my life? Fucking going to my grade school and full of every black kid in there hated me because I was white. I got jumped by 10 or 15 people almost every day. I was lucky if only three or four wanted to fight with me after school. People like people were born racist and all that shit. I'm gonna tell you right now, I went through all that, and I never once hated black folk because of that. I hated certain black types of black folk, but I just didn't. I mean, hate them because a handful of people were ignorant. So where you see how people are tolerant of other people's races, and it's see, white people will be tolerant of the black folk, but the black folk aren't tolerant of the white folk, and it's about shit that happened back in the day that we had no control over. Yeah, it's just like politics. It's just so much bullshit involved in them topics and discussions. See, that's fucking stupid. Why in the hell would you spray painting have anything to do with you carrying a firearm? It don't make any damn sense. Let's get ass backwards law in there. But did you think you're gonna hurt somebody with a can of spray paint? Oh, some black folk hate. Well, I'm just gonna put out there's black folk and then there's niggas. You know, and black folk will tell you the same damn thing. They can't stand a nigga. You can't invite them into your house because you're worried they're gonna steal something. You get wrapped up with them. You get wrapped up in some bullshit that you don't even know how you got yourself into just because they bring you down to their level. It's like there's go to work every day. You know, be productive and shit like that. And you'll make it in life. Quit blaming everybody for all your problems. No, how the hell is spray painting a felony? I don't get that shit, man. I was thinking about touching up some of this graffiti that was starting to fade away, and it's like I ain't touching that shit up if it risk getting a felony. Would it have something to do with where you spray painted and what they wanted to do with you, or is it just generalized? If you spray paint, you end up getting a felony. Yeah, there's some people struggling out there. I can't work no more. That's what got me in a bind. So I'm on Social Security disability. It sucks, dude. Hell, I was told by doctors probably 15, 20 years ago that I could have got on disability and I refused to do it. I felt like I could still work, but now I work myself to the point where my back's destroyed, a neuropathy in my knee. I got hit by a car, so I had a head injury, which caused neurological issues now I have. And it's fucking as I'm getting older, I'm just falling apart. I wish I could still install carpet. I was making as just a helper. Fuck, bull that was back then. I was happy to make $10 an hour, so I'd make $100 a day, and I was happy. But that was like actually a decent wage for somebody that was just starting out doing something. And then I started getting paid instead of hourly percentage. By every job, I'd get 25 to 30%, and that was awesome. I love that shit because that's when I started making the money. Nasty job to get into, man. People's carpet is filthy as fuck, man. They'll have cats and dogs that piss and shit all over them. Carrying that old piss soaked carpet, man. There was a couple jobs I threw up carrying out the old carpet. You can either refuse the job at that point, walk away, and somebody else do it and make the money, or you can agree to do it and ask for more pay. So we'd always get paid double for people's houses that were that damn nasty. Quit trying to clone me, fool. Fucking cat. It did 1.1 million in damage. Yeah, it's fucking jobs are dangerous, man. I had my thumb totally crushed at this steel plant. They just opened up.
and they begged me to not file workman's comp. They said, we'll pay all your bills and everything. And I was just starting out at the steel plant. I had a future. So I went along with the program. I come back the next day trying to work, and I couldn't do it. My whole hand was shaking from the pain from my thumb. I mean, it was bad. I had to have surgery that night and everything. And I called the owner. I'm like, look, man, I'm going home. I can't do this shit. I was like, my hand is fucking trembling. I said, I ain't took the medicine they gave me for pain. It makes me feel like shit. And I said, I can't do it. I got to take some time off for my hand. So I was off for, I think it was like 3 weeks to a month while my thumb healed enough to where I could bend it a little bit. But that was his negligence of a new craneman they were training up above. And I gave him the signal to lower the chain or lower down the crane, and he took it as up, and I had my fucking thumb in between the chain and the steel mold. And it started pulling me up with it, and I'm screaming, "Let it stop! Drop it! Drop it! Drop it!" And then fucking finally dropped it. When I came back, somebody asked me if I had filed workman's comp, and I said no. And they're like, "You should have." He said, "Because you're about the 15th person that's got hurt here and not filed workman's comp." So I realized it was a big scam going on. This place is dangerous as fuck. And they asked me to go into a slag pit the one day. It was hot as fuck. I mean, I was like looking down in there, and I'm like, "Do you want me to go down in there?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah." So just go down there for like 20-minute increments and come out of there if it gets too hot. I'm like looking back down there, I'm like, "Are you sure about this? I'm gonna be safe going down in there." And I said, I can't do it, dude. I said, "I'm just looking down there and see me dying. You guys are gonna walk away and leave me do this shit by myself." So then they offered to pump oxygen down in there. What the fuck is that going to do about the heat? What's going to happen if there's pure oxygen and a spark ignites that oxygen? I mean, what the fuck, man? I was like, there's no way I'm going down in there. So guess what? That never got done. They just continued to use it. You know, put my life in danger. And then the last thing that I did that, or they wanted me to do that I quit for the third time, is when the guy that was supposed to help me read the crane or the scale down. I'd pick things up, put it on the scale. He'd read me the numbers, and I'd have to see if I got to get a little bit more of this steel or that steel. Well, I had nobody to read the scale, and they told me, "Well, can you tie a rope to your ankle and then tie it to the crane so if you fall, you won't fall all the way, and hang out to see if you can read it?" I said, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" I was like, "Nope, I'm done with this place." I said, "I quit." And I if I would have stayed there, I probably would have went real far if I wouldn't have died. But man, that's just like you get hurt real easy at a job pretty bad and not ever be able to come back from it. Sucks. Yeah, I've had some tricky fucking jobs. No, there wasn't no harness. They didn't give a shit about nothing. The crane was 3 stories up. I went there as a craneman's helper. That's how I got hired in. I had 3 different interviews. Got hired in. I was super excited. And this guy that was a crane, me and him clicked the first night. The next night, he don't show up. He quit after the first night of me working there, and they come up to me and ask me if I wanted to work as a craneman. I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude! This is gonna that's hell yeah! Let's train me on that shit." They took 1 or 2 days of training me, and I had it down packed. I loved that job. Worked in the scrap bay. I just would clean the scrap bay up, sort steel, get stuff ready for the melt shop at night, and that was it. I loved my job. I had freedom to take. I was using 3 different tow motors, 2 different bobcats, and the crane on both sides of the building. I was able to use and just. I knew what needed to be done. I had nobody bugging me. They liked me. I just did my job, and just like I said, I had a future there, but I didn't want to fucking die. If OSHA would have known about all the bullshit that was going down, they would have shut that place down. And they knew that. That's why they begged me not to fucking file workman's comp. Can't even remember the name of that building. It was up in Akron. I think it might have been World Metals. World Metals. I worked at 2 steel shops, but one was World Metals Incorporated. I don't know if that's the first one I worked at or the other one that almost died, or they wanted me to die for. Well, shit, I'm about to get up. throw my fan in the window, get me some lunch and shit, and chill for a bit. But I appreciate you coming by for my live. If you did, I usually just get on here and chill, do a little smoking, chill out, and bullshit with people. So I guess I'll see you guys on the next live or the next time I go camping, which might be here in a couple days. But y'all, take it easy. Have a blessed day. Peace out.